Hello everyone and welcome to Coding Card. So in this session we are going to solve one HackerRank problem from interview preparation kit. You can see here the problem name is triple sum. So let me first explain you this problem in a simple way what they are saying. So here we will be given three arrays A, B and C, and these three array will be of different size. Now what we have to do here is we have to find the number of distinct triplets. We have to find the number of distinct triplets P, Q and R such that these elements P belongs to A, elements Q belongs to B and elements R belongs to C. And for these triplets my condition is P should be always less than equal to Q, and at the same time this Q should be greater than equal to R. So this is my condition for triplets. Now let me take one example. Suppose the elements in array A is 3, 5 and 7. Elements in array B is 3 and 6, and element in C is 4, 6 and 9. Now we have to find the triplets P, Q and R which will satisfy this condition. So let us make the triplets. Here our condition is Q should be greater than equal to P and Q should also be greater than equal to R. Means our main condition check is for Q. So let us start from Q. So this Q is the element from B. So let us pick the very first element 3. So for 3, so we will make the combination here from A and this from C. So you can see here this is my element 3. Now how many elements in A are less than equal to 3? There is only one element which is 3 itself. And how many elements in C are less than equal to 3? No any elements, so which is 0. So no any combination is possible. No any combination is possible for this element 3. So let us move for the next element. Let us move for 6. So we have to pick elements from A and this from C. So how many elements are there in A which is less than equal to 6? Because our condition is Q should be greater than equal to P and it should also be greater than equal to R, and this P, Q and R are the elements from A, B and C. So we have picked this element 6 which is from B, which is Q value. So we can simply apply the logic. How many elements are there in A which is less than equal to this Q value? So there are two elements 3 and 5, and from C there are two elements 4 and 6. So we can make the combination from these elements. We can simply make the combination for this 6, for this Q value 6. We can make the combination like 3, 6, 4. One combination will be 3, 6 and 4, 5, 6 and 4. We are done with these two. Now 3, 6 and 6, 3, 6 and 6, and another triplet will be 5, 6 and 6. So if you make the combination, you can see here one triplet will be 3, 6 and 4, another will be 5, 6 and 4. Now one will be 3, 6 and 6, another will be 5, 6 and 6. So there are 4 combinations. So this is my M value. This count is M and this count is N. So total triplets count will be M into N, which is this value is 2 and this value is 2. So 2, 2. So the total count will be 4. You can see here 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is the problem. We have to return the total count which will satisfy this condition for the triplet. So let us take another example. Suppose Suppose element in array A is 1, 3 and 5. Element in array B is suppose 2 and 3. And in C, suppose the elements are 1, 2 and 3. Now we have to find the total triplets. So we have to pick elements from A, which will be P, from B it should be Q, and from C it should be R. So let us pick the very first element Q. The very first element is 2. So we are picking for this 2, which is my Q value. Now we have to pick P and R. So my condition is Q should be always greater than equal to P, and at the same time Q should be greater than equal to R. So how many elements are there in A which is less than equal to this 2? So there is only one element which satisfies this condition. So that element is 1. Now we are done with this P for our triplet P, Q and R. We are done with this Q, P. Now we are going to check for R. Now there are two elements in C which is 1 and 2 which satisfy that condition. The elements 1 and 2, these are the elements which are less than equal to this 2. So we got two elements. Suppose this is my M value and this is my N value. So my combination will be M cross N, which is 1 into 2, which will be 2. And the combination are, we can see here, the combination will be 1, 2 and 1, and another will be 1, 2 and 2. So there will be two combination for my this Q value 2. Now let us check for the another Q value, which is 3. So for this 3, this is my Q value. Now we have to pick P value and R value. So you can see here there are two elements 1 and 3 which will satisfy this condition. P should be less than equal to Q, and there is only two elements 1 and 3 which is less than equal to 3. So there is two elements 1 and 3. Now we are done with this P. Now let us pick the R element. So there are three elements 1, 2 and 3 which is less than equal to 3. So there are three elements 1, 2 and 3. So all these elements are less than equal to 3. Now we got the value. Suppose this is my M value and suppose this is my N value. This is my count, which is 2, and this count is 3. So my total triplets will be, combination will be M cross N, which is 2 into 3, which will be 6. So the combination will be 1, 3, 1. One combination will be 1, 3, 2. One combination will be 1, 3 and 3. Now another combination will be 3, 3, 1. Another will be 3, 3, 2, and another will be 3, 3 and 3. So these are the possible 6 combination. So for this array elements, my total triplets count will be 2 for this element and 6 for this element, and these are the combination 2 for that element 2 and 6 for this element 3. So my total combination is 2 plus 6, these 2, total 2, and this 6. So total combination is how much? 8. So we have to return this element 8. Now let me take another example. Suppose in my array the element is 1, 4 and 5. In B my element is suppose 2, 3 and 3. In C my elements are suppose 1, 2 and 3. Now we will apply the same logic. So let us start with this element 2. So for 2, now this is my Q value. Now we have to pick P and R, and the condition is Q is always greater than equal to P, and again Q is always greater than equal to R. So you can see here my Q value is 2. Now there are only one element in A which is less than equal to 2. That element is 1. And in C there are two elements 1 and 2 which is less than equal to this element 2, 1 and 2. So this is my M value and this is my n value, the count. So my combination is m cross n, which is count 1 into count 2, which is 2, and the combination are, you can see here, my combination will be 1, 2 and 1, and another will be 1, 2 and 2. So we are done with this 2. Now there are two elements 3 and 3, both are same, but we have to find the distinct pair. So we will take only one element. So let us ignore this one, let us pick only one element. So for this 3, let us pick elements P and R. This is my Q value. So you can see here, for these 3 only one element is less than equal to 3 in array A, which is 1 itself. Now in C there are 3 elements 1, 2 and 3, which is less than equal to 3. All the elements are less than equal to 3, 1, 2 and 3. These are my R values, and the condition is Q should be greater than equal to R. So 3 should be greater than equal to R values. So you can see here, suppose this is my M value and this is my N value. So my total possible combination will be M cross N. So here my M value is 1 and N value is 3. So 1 into 3, which is 3, and the combination will be 1, 3, 1. One combination will be 1, 3, 2, and another will be, the last one will be 1, 3 and 3. So we are done. We have to ignore the duplicates because we have to find the distinct pair. So my total combination is 2 and 3, which is 2 plus 3, which is 5. So we have to return 5 as our answer. So this is the problem here, you can see here. These were the examples which we have discussed here. This was the second example in which duplicates was present. So what we have to do here is, we have to complete this function triplets in which they are passing this array A, B and C. We just have to write our logic. The very first approach is, we have to remove the duplicates. Now for this removal of duplicates, we will simply use a set data structure. So when we will use this set data structure to remove the duplicates, then we won't be getting the elements in sorted order. So the elements won't be in sorted order. So now let me explain you here what difficulty we will get when the elements are not in sorted order. So for example, suppose the element is 1, 3, 5 in array A, and in array B suppose the element is 1, 2, suppose 2, 3 and 3, and in C the element is suppose 1, 2, 2 and suppose 5. These are my elements in A, B and C. Now we have to remove the duplicates. So to remove the duplicates, we will simply use a set data structure. So if you see here the elements are already in sorted order. So but whenever we are going to apply a set data structure on this list, so elements will be not in the same order. It may be like 3, 5 or 1, maybe, we don't know. Again for this B, we will get a random order like 2, 1, 3. Again for this C, we will get a random like 5, 1, 2, when we are going to convert into set. Now when the elements are not in sorted order, what issue we will get? Let me explain you here. Suppose for example we are picking this element. For this element, suppose for 2, we have to pick the P and R value. So for this P, we have to check all the elements one by one. We have to check all the elements one by one, and we have to check the condition. My Q should always be greater than equal to P, and at the same time this Q should always be greater than equal to R. Now in all the 3 set A, B and C, the elements will be in random order. Now for this value 2, our condition check is this Q should always be greater than equal to P. Now to get the value of P, we have to check for this element, single element. To get the value of P, we have to check each and every element one by one, and same goes in C. You have to check each and every element one by one for a single element. Now suppose we are done with this. value 2. Now whenever we are going to check for the next element is 1. Whenever we are going to check for 1, now let me delete this one. Now for this element 1, to satisfy this condition, p should be less than equal to q, we have to check one by one from the initial position, one by one element, again one by one element. So it's a time taking process. So if the elements are not in sorted order, we will simply get TLE. You can try yourself. So what we will do here, we will simply sort this element. After converting into set, the very first thing was remove duplicates. So for this we have used set data structure. So after this we will simply use a sort. Now the elements are in sorted order. Now you can see here, let me explain you here. After removing the duplicates, we will get the elements like 1, 3 and 5 in A, and in B we will get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 and 3, and for C we will get 1 to 5, 1, 2 and 5. Now let me explain you here why sorting is needed here. Now suppose we have picked the element 1. Now for 1 we are moving in A to get the value P. So there is only one element. So this will be my M value. My counter will be here. Now whenever we are going in, now when we are going to check in C for this one, so there is only one element here, 1. So my counter will be here, N. Now we are done with this element. Now when we are going to start for the next element, since these are in sorted order, so we don't have to start from again from the initial position. We will simply increase our counter by 1. So we will simply start checking from here. Is this element, the next element, satisfying that condition or not? Q should be greater than equal to P, and at the same time Q should be greater than equal to R. Whether the next element is satisfying this condition or not. If it is not satisfying, we will simply move for the next element. So you can see here, for these two, since 1 is captured already, since this value 1 is captured for this element, because this element was also less than this element, and for this element we have already checked for up to this index. Now for these two, we'll simply start with the next element. So you can see here, again this element is less, so we'll simply add 1 in this counter. We'll simply add 1 in previous counter if the condition is satisfied. So you can see here, we are done here. No need to check from the initial index. Now for this element, suppose for these 3, our counter is here. We'll check the next value. Yes, this value is satisfying the condition. This 3 is less than equal to this 3. So what we will do, we'll simply add 1 in our counter. 1 in our counter. No need to check from the initial position value. We'll simply check from the current position of the counter. Now for here in C, now you can see here, my counter is here. We have added 1 for these 3. Now we have to check for the next element. Here next element is 5, which is not satisfying this condition, so we'll simply ignore, and at last we simply multiply m cross n to get the count. Let me explain you here. Let me explain you with another example. Suppose the elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in B suppose the elements are 3 and suppose 5. Suppose this is my A, this is B, and in C the elements are suppose 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now for 3 you can see here we have elements 1, 2 and 3. My M is here. For the first check, yes, this is satisfying the condition. This P is less than equal to this Q. We will add 1. My counter will be here. Now again this value is less than equal to this 3. We will simply add 1 plus 1. So my counter will be here. Now I am here. Now next element is not satisfying that condition. So my counter will be here at this element. Now let us move in C. So you can see here for C I am using counter n. So this element is satisfying that condition. Q is greater than equal to this R. So we'll simply add 1 in our counter and move forward. Again this element is satisfying that condition. We'll simply add 1 in our counter and move forward. Again this element is satisfying that condition. We'll simply add 1 to our counter. Now we are here. This element is not satisfying that condition, so we'll ignore. So our value will be m cross n. Now let us see for this element. Now we have already checked for the previous element, and for this previous element, since the elements were in sorted order, so we have already checked and moved to a certain number which is already satisfying that condition. Up to this element we have already checked by the previous element, so no need to again start from the first index. So for this element, what we will do is simply check from the next index by adding 1 in our previous counter. So this condition is satisfied, so what we will do is simply add 1 in our previous counter. Again we move forward, again this element is satisfying this condition, and again we will move forward and add 1 in our counter. Now again let us see here, again here till 3 we have already checked for the previous value. For this element, no need to check from the previous index, we will simply add 1 in our previous counter and check the next element. So you can see this element is satisfying the condition, so we will add 1 and move forward. So the next element is again satisfying this condition, so what we will do, we will again 1 in our counter. So this was my previous value till 3. For this 3 we have checked, and again for the next my counter is updated, so what we will do is simply add, multiply m cross n to get the value, and for each element we will simply add, for each iteration we will simply add m cross n and m cross n. So let us write the same logic over here, we'll apply the same logic here. So let me zoom this one now. So the very first thing is we have to remove the duplicates and sort the list. So let us use set to remove the duplicates, set of A. So we got the unique elements. Now let us use sorted function to sort the set, and we'll simply save in our variable A. So let us apply same for B and C. For B and C, so we are done. Now let us take few variable. Let us take count equal to m equal to n equal to 0. So we have taken count for counting the triplets, m and n for moving in P and R. Now we'll apply the same logic. We'll start from array B. Now we will apply the same logic like this one. What we will do, we'll pick one elements from B which will be the Q value, and for that Q we will check the condition for P and R in A and C. So let us take for V in B. For value in B we will check condition. So for that let us use while loop. While m is for moving in A, so while m less than the length of A, so I have taken this counter m for moving in A. If it is less than length of A, and at the same time we are going to check whether the value A of m is less than equal to V or not. If it is less than equal to V, then we are simply adding 1 in our counter, m plus 1, correct? And same goes for C. So while, and for C we have used the counter n, while n less than length of C, and at the same time we are going to check whether C of n is less than equal to V or not. If it is less than equal to V, then we'll simply add 1 in our counter. So we are done. This is my condition. This is for, so this condition is for P should be less than equal to Q, and this is for R should be less than equal to Q. Means our Q should always be greater than equal to P and R. So if this condition are satisfied, we got the value of m and n. So what we will do, we will simply multiply both of them to get the count value. So count equal to m cross n, we got the value. So for each element in B we are going to check this condition, and we will get the value of m and n, and we will simply count m cross, count plus equal to m cross n. means for each value in each iteration we are going to get the count value if they are satisfying this condition. So we are done, and at last we will return this count. So this is our logic which we have discussed over here, the last one after sorting the value, this one. So we are done. So let us run this code. So you can see here we are done with the sample test case. Let us submit this code. So congratulations, we are done with all the hidden test cases. So this was the problem. So this was the logic for this problem. So if you have learned something new, please do give thumbs up and subscribe to our channel Coding Kart, and stay tuned for the next videos. Thanks for watching.